Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and I have been traveling. As you may probably know, I was in Miami last weekend to speak at the Gold Coast Aquarium Society and to do a meet and greet at Neighborhood Fish Farm. Now, Neighborhood Fish Farm is a really cool farm because it's unique in a few ways. First of all of the fish are kept outdoors, open air, in concrete vats, and you view them from above. You purchase out of those vats, and it's just a really unique store. I've never seen anything like it. They are not technically a fish farm in that they sell to the public, and they're not breeding so much as getting fish in order to sell retail to the public. What I thought was really cool about this farm is that it's been family owned since the 60s, but it's predominantly run by women. And you guys know me, I really get excited when I find a business that is female run, female owned, female operated, and it was really cool to see this farm. Now, the small vats were about 250 gallons, the larger vats were about 1,200 gallons. And I think there were 237 of them, and they housed a wide range of fish from koi and goldfish to guppies to shrimp to cichlids, Africans, nanofish like CPDs, and they had SV rasboras, they had Coreodoris, they had really everything you could think of. They also had a wide selection of plants, both in their vats and actually growing on the ground, which I found extremely fascinating. One of my favorite parts of the whole place was the ambiance it had. It was just a really chill vibe. Everybody who worked there was super friendly, really good at their job, and I really loved looking around at all the ferns and things that were growing out of the nooks and crannies of the concrete vats, in between the vats. Now, the whole place is set up on well water, and the well water continuously flows into each vat individually and then overflows back out into channels. And you'll see tons and tons of really amazing plants growing all around these vats because of that. The fish were all super healthy. In fact, every single morning, one of the managers goes through, feeds the fish, assesses their health, and if they need to be quarantined, quarantines them. It's a really great model, and I was super impressed at the detail given to those fish. There are 3 managers and then 7 female employees that do the lion's share of the work at this farm. A few years ago, they suffered a devastating fire and are still in the rebuilding process. Luckily, all of the vats survived that horrible endeavor and are doing quite well. They even have some big arowana and other monster fish in some of the larger vats, which were super fun to see. At one point, one of the girls who works there was trying to catch a biker to put on display for the meet and greet, and she actually had to get in the vat and use her feet to find the fish. Now, I know a lot of people will think that aquariums or like these open air vats that have algae or not super crystal clear water are dirty, but the reality is these fish's colors were popping. And that's a combination of the sun, the natural food source, the algae they're ingesting, and it was really just very cool. Now, they cover these vats every night in order to preserve the warmth and, protect the fish mainly from the predation of birds. But all in all, I just highly recommend, if you're in the area, make sure you check out Neighborhood Fish Farm outside of Miami. It was just really fun, really healthy fish, and I appreciate them having me out, as well as Magfloat and Hikari for sponsoring that. Anyway, let's take a quick look around the fish room so you can see what I'm actively working on. I am traveling a lot in the next few weeks, both for fish things and for my daughter. So it's going to be a sporadic upload schedule. Thanks as always for your continued support. So a thing happened. I decided I no longer wanted to give 75 gallons to my shellies. I was down to 1 female. I think maybe the catfish were eating the females because they're small, so caught all the fish and I set up a pair of the shellies in a small aquarium to breed out, to hopefully reestablish a colony. separated the catfish and moved the cyprichromis and the ancistrus and the loaches that were in there and put them all in appropriate tanks. The Synodontis have been listed for sale on my website should anyone be interested in 2 pairs of them. And now I have a free tank, so I'm pretty excited about that. I picked up some Azaline Spixie snails from a gentleman named John when I was in Florida at Gold Coast Aquarium Society. These are a snail that are super interesting because they are sexually specific. They are an apple snail species, but they lay their eggs underwater. And what's really cool about them is that they eat hydra, so they're really useful to have around. So I set up my group of them in this aquarium here, and as they start to breed, I'll be sure to update you guys. And then I also grabbed another little live bear. Unfortunately, they had kind of a rough trip, so only one male made it. So I have a whole bunch of females and only one male. But as they settle in, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on those as well. They're just a really unusual little fish. Both of the male Betta mahachiensis are actively bubble nesting and in full breeding dress, and the females have been showing vertical breeding bars. So I've dropped the water line a bit, turned down the flow, and hopefully we'll start seeing some real action soon. I mean, they are certainly looking incredibly good. The 75-gallon Nano is doing awesome as usual. Nothing really to report there, though I do want to get some more, I think, Coreodoras for this aquarium. I have quite a few fish that I want to get in the upcoming weeks, as I have quite a few aquariums that are really not stocked to capacity at all. Sometimes it's hard for me to pull the trigger on fish because there's so many that I like. I never know which ones to get. So if you guys have any specific ideas of small fish that you'd like to see me work with, let me know down in the comments. The Hillstream is doing amazing, and I post constant updates on all of my aquariums and my plant projects on my Instagram. So if you're not following me there, I highly recommend that you do, as you really get just a lot of updates on all the things that I'm working on. All in all, the fish room is doing super well. I'm really happy. I'm excited to do some more projects, and pretty soon stay tuned for one that I've been hiding from you guys for quite a while. Now, a lot of the breeding efforts are sort of stalled, I think because it's been sort of a weird winter weather down here, but there are quite a few things actively spawning, from live bears to plecos to white clouds to those Sowelia that I showed you guys last time. So stay tuned, and please subscribe with that notification bell on to get updates on these as well as all the other projects. Last week I also went and visited a store just outside New York City in New Jersey called Global Fish Co. that I am going to be doing a comprehensive tour and interview with. It's a lot of footage to wade through, so I'm not quite sure exactly when it'll come out, but it was a small but pristine store full of really unusual and exotic fish, including some really gorgeous rays, and I'm super excited to share all of that with you. I have lots more things planned. It's going to be an exciting year for all of us, so I hope that you guys will join me on this fish keeping adventure. As always, as mentioned, thank you for your continued support.